In the previous lesson, we have added the toggle state button, which will toggle the state of a specific task. Here in this lesson, we will add a form which will filter the data in two ways. One will be tasks that are not completed yet, and another will show the task which are already completed. So let's get back to our editor and figure out how we can do that. So let's start with the index.html template. Here, after the h1 tag, let's create our new form here. So here we have added a form with action app1:index, and after that we have added two input with the type of radio, and the values are true and false. And after that we are having a submit button with the value filter, and the method for this form will be get. Now let's save it and give it a try in our browser. Here you can see the updated output. We have added a form here with two radio inputs, true and false. Once you select any of this and click on the filter button, here you can see the URL is updated and added this value after our URL segment. Anything after this question mark is called query parameters. Inside our index method, we need to access the value associated with this query parameter, and depending on that, we will just filter our output. So let's get back to the editor and figure out how we will do that. Let's go to our views.py file, and here the first thing we will do is get the query parameter value from the URL. So here we have added two new lines. The first one is completed, and we set the value to request.get completed, comma, the second parameter is empty. That means it will try to get the query parameter value for completed. However, if the value for this query parameter is not supplied by the user, then in that case it will just place an empty value. After that, we have assigned task to be an empty list, and here we will add a condition. If the value for completed is available, then so here it is. Here inside the if condition, we are using the filter method to filter our data depending on the query parameter value. Suppose the value for completed is set to true. Then in that case, we will filter and fetch all the tasks which is already completed. That means the is completed field for those tasks will be set to true. And if this is false, then we will only fetch the tasks which are not yet completed and store it into this task variable. If the completed is not supplied in the URL, then in that case we will just simply fetch all the tasks from the database. Now let's save it and give it a try. So here is our home page. By default, we are getting all the tasks from the database. Few of our tasks are completed and few ones are not yet completed. So let's check out the filter method, and here we have supplied the completed value to true. And in this case, we are only getting those tasks which are completed. Let's change it to false. And here we are getting all the tasks which are not yet completed. However, it would be better if we just mark it to checked which one is active right now. For false, here we should make it active like this. We can do it simply by going to the template part. Let's figure out how we will do it. So here inside our index.html template, after this part, we can add a if condition. So here we have added two conditions for each of our radio inputs, and inside the view we are getting the query parameters by using this pattern, and inside the template we are using another pattern, request.get the query parameter value. So if the value is equals to true, which is a string, then in that case we will mark it checked. And if it is false, then we will mark this input as checked. Now let's save it and give it a try. Here it is. Now let's set it to true. And for the value and the URL is set to true, we are getting this already checked. So this is how we can use the filter method to filter our data from the database.